Two brothers take two women home from a club only to become the victims of a violent robbery. What a nurse who tried to help the victim told us tonight. We just experienced the hottest weekend in Houston history when ERCOT says it may have to start rolling blackouts. And a scary situation for Big Brother reality star Shelley, why the FBI is investigating calls made to her family. And good evening to you. I'm Vicente and Sherman Chow has the night off. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight, a man is fighting for his life after he and his brother, who took two women home from a Houston area strip club, they both ended up the victims of a violent robbery. KHOU 11 News reporter Tiffany Craig joins us now live to explain the events that led up to the attack. Tiffany. Houston police are looking for a driver that caused an accident that sent 6 people to the hospital overnight. Police say the truck was weaving on the Southwest Freeway near Highway 288 around midnight. The truck then crashed into the back of a car, and then that car hit another car. 6 people hurt. The truck never stopped. On to our hot weather now. This extreme heat is stressing out our power grid. ERCOT is asking residents to conserve energy during peak hours, or we could see rolling blackouts this week. KHOU 11 News reporter Gabe Gutierrez joins us now to explain what this would mean for all of us, and this will impact a lot of people, Gabe.
That's right. Exactly right, Vicente.
The cold snap sounds so good. Gabe, what is ERCOT specifically asking people to do to try and conserve power?
Oh, well, for me, since I can't cook very well.
A lot of people are going to use this as an excuse not to cook. Keep those ovens turned off. All right, Gabe, thank you so much for that story on the hot weather that we've been having. And of course, we continue talking about that hot weather now. The question is, how long is it going to stick around? Mario, I'm afraid that we've got several more days ahead of triple-digit temperatures, don't we?
Yeah, on this. Vicente, back to you.
We will be checking back with you then. Thank you so much. We have some traffic news to talk about right now. We are told that the West Loop at Bel Air is having major problems right now because one of the roads there has buckled because of the heat. So right now the ramps and the frontage roads are shut down. Again, this is the West Loop at Bel Air. The ramps and the frontage roads are shut down. The main part of the West Loop is open, but crews are there right now trying to get it repaired. We will, of course, have an update on KHOU 11 News this morning starting at 4:30, so be sure and watch for that. It could be a real mess as far as traffic is concerned. Our other big weather story of the day, of course, is Hurricane Irene. It did a lot of damage along the East Coast, but officials there say it could have been much worse. The storm is now weakening as it moves north into Canada, leaving a long path of destruction. Reporter Duarte Geraldino has the latest on Irene's aftermath. News. We have an update to a story we brought you about a boy who died after being denied water for 5 days. Police in the Dallas area say the child was 10 years old, and investigators say the father and stepmother were keeping water away from him. And today, we found out that he was being punished for wetting the bed. Jonathan James died late last month, and his parents are being charged with injury to a child. Governor Rick Perry is leading the polls for the GOP nomination, but is he being upfront and honest about his record? What several watchdog groups claim he's hiding that other governors didn't. Plus, the U.S. Coast Guard dips in to help a helicopter stranded on the water near Sabine Pass. And its risk becoming a reality star, what Big Brother's Shelley is having to deal with after a controversial game move that has the FBI investigating. He's running for president, but as Rick Perry hits a campaign trail, there's a lot the longest-serving governor of Texas is not sharing with the public. According to the Houston Chronicle, a number of watchdog groups accuse Perry of favoring secrecy to transparency. One example, unlike previous governors, Perry does not release his reviews of execution cases. Perry also has a policy of deleting staff email after 7 days. While the governor's office says it makes hard copies of all emails subject to open records laws, watchdog groups say that's unlikely. Beginning Thursday, qualified hunters will be able to take to the skies and hunt wild hogs in Texas. The legislature approved the measure earlier this year for hunting hogs and coyotes by helicopter. And you might remember this video. It shows hogs causing damage at a family's home in Fort Bend County back in May. Feral hog populations in Texas are estimated to be at more than 2 million. They're causing problems in neighborhoods and rural areas. A school backpack might not seem like a big deal, just one more item you have to buy your kids to get them ready for school, unless you have to make a choice between school supplies and food. KHOU 11 News reporter Kevin Reese shows us a community trying to solve that problem today. The Coast Guard had to rescue 7 people this weekend in 2 separate incidents. Check out this video we got from the Coast Guard. This helicopter had to make an emergency landing yesterday in the water about 10 miles from Sabine Pass. The Coast Guard was able to rescue the pilot and 2 passengers on board. And the other incident involved a family's boat that washed into some rocks on a jetty in Galveston. A Good Samaritan tried to help by towing the family and the boat, but that line just snapped. The Coast Guard took over the rescue yesterday, and no one was hurt. At Mario, earlier this evening, I was out and about running an errand on my break, and the sun had already gone down. Looked at the temperature gauge on the dashboard. It was still 101 degrees.
Was it really?
Yeah, the sun had already gone down.
You know, that's the way it's changed from the 100s we've gotten accustomed to.
We are hoping that rain comes this way.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep
Could
our
be
fingers
amazing.
crossed. Thank you, Mari. Appreciate that. Houston marking a big milestone. Today there was a big party downtown celebrating the 175th anniversary of the city's founding. The event was held in Market Square Park, the location of Houston's original city hall. All smiles there, that guy. Local leaders plan to hold more celebrations throughout the year, marking important events in Houston's history. The Casey Anthony murder trial may be over, but we're about to find out a whole lot more about it. Up next, find out when the lead prosecutor's book will be released. Plus, the FBI gets involved in a CBS reality show after a contestant gets death threats. One of the prosecutors in the Casey Anthony murder trial is writing a book about the case. Jeff Ashton confirmed to the Orlando Sentinel that he's finishing a book entitled Imperfect Justice Prosecuting Casey Anthony. It's scheduled for release in November. Ashton retired days after Anthony's acquittal. As you saw earlier here on KHOU, Big Brother contestant Shelley Moore is going through a rough time on the reality competition. It started when she voted to kick veteran Jeff Schroeder out of the house. But according to TMZ, she and her family, including her 8-year-old daughter, have received several death threats because of her vote. The website also says Shelley's employer has also received harassing phone calls demanding that she be fired. The FBI is now looking into the threats. MTV may not show very many music videos anymore, but tonight the network honored the best of the best at its annual music awards ceremony. The event included a tribute to Britney Spears. They got close there. That was Lady Gaga, by the way, presenting Britney with the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award for her contributions to the music industry. It was an incredible show. Tonight's show also included a tribute to the late singer Amy Winehouse. Now time to talk a little bit about sports. There's one guy that a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about. Is he going to be okay? Here's Matt Musil. Here's the deal. Everybody wants to know if Arian Foster is going to be okay.
I've got the first pick in my fantasy league, so
well, then
I definitely
you're hurting
need to
because of
know.
that, aren't you?
For the first time, okay, I think he was just thirsty.
What was
That's
going
it for sports. I have
on
no
with
idea.
that squirrel?
I don't know.
Running around in circles. All right, appreciate that, Matt. Well, it is not child's play. The hula hoop makes a big comeback in Houston. We'll tell you why coming up next. If you're going to sleep, this will wake you up real fast. Check it out. A lot of shaking and shimmying in downtown Houston today. This group on Discovery Green, they were trying to set a world record for the largest group of people hula hooping in unison, raising money for Easter Seals Greater Houston. But they weren't the only ones hula hooping. They weren't the only ones. All right, here we go. Let's check this out. Let's look at this guy. This is our very own Matt Musil.
Oh, what
yeah,
is
this is you. And check him out. Caught pictures of him one afternoon, and it is a funny thing. Where'd you learn how to do that, man? Where'd you learn how to do that?
Well, growing up, of course.
He does that every day to get ready for the show. So now you know the story behind the story. That's our newscast. Have a great hot week, everybody. Good night.